Dun, 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 dun. Hey guys, it's the Golden Penguin back with another video, or more accurately, another Transformers review. And today we will be doing the Leader Class Beast Megatron from the Transformers Kingdom line. Of course, by the rules I made, we start with the box, then we review the figure itself, then we review his accessories, and then we review the transformation and the instructions, and then at the very end we'll go over a little overview of everything. So, actually, before we start, let me explain something. I've already recorded a Kingdom Rat Trap review that I still have to edit and download, and it's a really long video, so when it comes out, it comes out. But it's going to be a little outdated when you watch it because it's going to assume that it's the second Transformers review when this in fact is now the second because it came out too late. So let's get into it. Of course, we move these out of the way. We start with the box. So this is a huge box. I saw this at the store and I thought I knew from the start it was worth the price point. We got Megatron here on the side in robot mode. You know, I kind of want to work as like the guy who gets to design this artwork. It's like extremely toy accurate, although a little bit exaggerated. And here's the T-Rex mode. That does not actually have painted eyes. At least I don't think it does. Or at least it doesn't have pupils in the eyes. So here it is. In the background you can see what I think is the Nemesis. And does it have the same thing in the background? No, it doesn't. Because in the other ones it had like Waspinator in the background and Megatron. But I guess since Megatron's here it can't. Anyway, go around to the side. We have our Kingdom artwork with Megatron, Black Arachnia, Scorponok, Dinobot, Rhinox. That's Unicron, Beast Megatron. We got basically the entire cast. Go to the back, and we have this model of what the figure looks like, which is, yeah, pretty basic. It says 27 steps. Which we'll confirm whether or not that's true. Bottom is boring. Top has Predacon symbol. Okay, so that is the box. You know, I kind of feel stupid for rating a box, but I am going to rate it at a 10 out of 10. It's huge, and it has basically everything it needs to cover and some really cool artwork. So then we move on to the figure itself in robot mode. Not vehicle mode yet, or beast mode more accurately. So, you got this head sculpt here, which here I'm going to try to get into a place with better light for a second. Show you that it's pretty well painted. It has the Predacon symbol on the forehead, just like in the Beast Wars show. The two red eyes. It can turn a full 360. We can move to the back, and yeah, I've heard a lot of people complain about this, but we'll get to that. The big, thick dino thighs, but I actually think it looks pretty good compared to some of the other figures I've seen. Then we go to the arms and the chest. We have a rotation at the shoulder. It can move out. It can go all the way around. The arm goes out. Yeah, that's what I was trying to show you. The dino head here can go up and down, so can the joint before it, so it's really, really good. And the ups and downs of the head can open up to the mouth. The mouth has a port in it to put the laser blast effects, which we'll get to. The other arm has an arm inside of his tail, which can be used as a claw here. We've got these, which when you fold it down, it becomes the tail in the transformation. And the same articulation as the other one. And the entire thing can move up and down quite a bit. And side to side. But that's not really in the chest area. It's the side to side is, but the up and down really isn't. Unless you unpeg it for the transformation, which I'm not going to count. And geez, this is hard. to do with one hand. But if I grab him just right, then I can show you the rotation. You know, it's kind of firm, but yep, there you go. It can go all the way around. I'm just not going to do that on camera. We got up and down on the legs. Of course, we got up and down at the waist. We've got joints in the knees that can only go back because you can't go forward with the plastic here. And we got a joint here. Can also spin around. And so can the thing here. And if you want to lower this down, it can go all the way out. So there is one. That is basically the figure. Now, if we looked at the sculpting, it's actually like really show accurate. I don't know how accurate it's going to be to Kingdom, but to Beast Wars, it's a faithful recreation. We got the teeth here. We got the vents on each side of the chest. Go around to the back. In the original Beast Wars show, it had the arms here, but now it's the thighs because the arms are up here. And we got the giant feet. Overall, it fits the leader price point. It's expensive, but it's a giant. And I would give that a solid, well, 10 out of 10 again. I don't like rating these so high, but because it's the only problem I found with this is really the back in the robot mode. And even then, it's not like the original didn't have back problems, so I'm not going to take that off. It has all of the articulation I could ask for posing, for stop motions. It's pretty solid. It can stand if I was actually trying to get it to stand. It has the tail arm here, which I actually think was a pretty inventive way to handle it. It has the complete movement in the mouth. And yeah, so that is the first two parts, the box and the robot mode, which are both 10 out of 10. Now, we move on to the instructions. Then we're going to actually, no, let's do accessories first. We'll go to the accessories, then we'll go to the instructions, just so that way, we can get this out of the way before the longest part of the video. So, accessories. He didn't really come with many, because, well, yeah. But nothing on this body comes off, really. If I go over here, though, let me just grab it. He does come with the Kingdom card that most deluxes and above come with. So there's that. It has a sticker you can peel off to reveal the underside, which I'll do right now. And you see a dead Optimus Prime, so that's nice. And in accessories, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It only came with the card. And, I mean, I know it's a giant figure and it has basically everything I could ask for. But come on, it has all of the, like, ports in the feet. It has a hand. It has the laser thing in the mouth. And yet it doesn't come with anything to put in it. So, yeah. And now, finally, we'll move on to the instructions and the transformation. So, the instructions were complicated the first time around reading them, but now that I understand what I'm trying to say, I can completely give you my honest opinion about them. So, you're going to move the arm out, and you're going to fold the claw half down, and then you're just going to fold the sides of it down, so that way it resembles the tail, and then you'll just rotate the head sideways and move it up. So I'll show you me doing that right now. So if I rotate this, there's the tail. And then you just move this up. Bam. Now what it wants you to do is raise this thing up, this little tab here. wants you to raise it up and move the arms out. So let's just stay on the back. And we're going to move the two arms outwards. Ooh, there we go. Little dino arms. Then you're going to want to go around, and here is the most annoying part of the figure. You need to untab the middle section. This is going to take me a second, so I am going to put this down so I can use both hands to do it. And I am going to warn you, it does feel like you're going to break it the first time, but after you realize that it's not going to break from this, you can do it as freely as you want. There we go. Okay, untabbed midsection, this is what it looks like. This is the tab here that's really lodged in there well. And I always thought I was going to break it by doing that, but apparently not. Then you're going to want to lay him forward like this. Okay, there we go. Then you need to put his head up so it's not clogged in the way. Whoa, stay down. Rotate this to the side. So let's rotate it. Remember, the head is supposed to stay upside down. I screwed up the first time I did this, and I tried to turn the head out right side up. Then you just gotta unfold these from the sides, as the instruction says. You can also unfold these, that's pretty much the next step. And then you're going to want to click them. This is going to make his stomach. Ooh. So here I am trying to click them. Ooh. So I'm not going to fully click it in yet because it normally screws up later in the transformation. That's another thing I'm going to have to get into, isn't it? So let's just pretend that that's that. You know what? Let's just go through the rest of the what's it called? Instructions, and then we'll go over the transformation to make it easier. Rotate the legs, pull them apart, shove them in. That part is really difficult. This entire section here. Trust me, I'm going to show you during the transformation. You need to rotate the legs, pull the thighs out, and rotate them down, so that way you can push the thigh part back and snap it into place. Then you're going to pull them down. You need to rotate the tail and keep the head down, and bam. So now let's get into the transformation, or at least the rest of it. For the instructions, accuracy to the transformation, it would be a 10 out of 10, but because of how hard the transformation is, I'm going to have to take 2 points away because it doesn't really explain that to you. It doesn't show you what exactly you're doing during this section. I mean, it tries, and I got it eventually, but when I first looked at this, I couldn't understand what I was doing. When I finally did get it, it was really hard to do. And, it doesn't show like this, where it shows you unpegging the tab. It doesn't show that on the back. So now, let's get into the rest of the transformation. Let me try putting the camera like this, because I'm really bad. There we go. So, Megatron. We've already got the stomach down here, but we're not going to plug it in yet because, unlike the instructions say, later when you have to plug in the legs, it's going to be much harder with this in. I can't even get it sometimes. And you're going to want the head up, the first thing to start out with, just to keep everything in place and stop it. Because there are springs here. And those springs are just going to keep shoving these back in your face unless you pull the head in now. So you're going to want to pull the head up and in. I'm trying to keep this in camera view, but it's kind of hard. There we go. now you can click the stomach in. I'm gonna do that now, and then I'm probably just gonna have to take it apart afterwards to do the legs. Just so you can show. Now this tab is hard to get, so normally I just leave it like this and nobody really notices. I know, I'm really bad at doing this. So now you need to unclick these crotch here. It's 2 sections. See? And then you need to fold them out and put them straight up. This part is difficult mostly because the little white part down here, this right here, it's always going to go with the black part. So when you're trying to get it to do one thing, it'll do another thing. So just let me get this. Transformation sucks, but once you get it, it's fun to do it again. It's a challenge. But that's what makes it work. Oh, there we go. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, I got the tab in, and then I untabbed it by accident, so now I have to do this again. Put it back here. There we go. Then in this one, you put it back here. Hopefully you guys can still see this, but gotta lift it up. Everything always gets stuck during this section. I'm so worried I'm gonna break it, but it doesn't break. Maybe I should have applauded that in the robot mode section too. Bam. So now that it's like this, you gotta put it in the side here. There's a tab here that you gotta stick it in. This part is hard with the sides out, so I'm going to have to raise them back up, which is going to screw up the rest of the transformation, but that's what I gotta do. So I can align it up. You guys probably can't see, but I'm lining it up right in there. In the side of this torso here that you guys are seeing, there's the peg right here. See, right there. And I have to put that in. So, this is probably why the rat trap was used so long. There we go, got it. Now let's just put the sides back where they were supposed to be. And put them down to the stomach where they were supposed to be, but got screwed up by the transformation. Okay, bam. I'm going to pull the legs down, flip the tail over like it's supposed to be. Now I can pull these down, these things here, they plug in. They start out as like side blasters, but they turn into the parts of the leg once I pull this out, pull this down, and just click it into place. And then I just fold the thighs down. There we go. Bam, bam. And we've got a dyno mode. So, we're going to talk about the dyno mode in a second. Just let me get his feet into position and his sides came apart again. Okay, the transformation is a solid 7 out of 10. It's still fun, but there's so many flaws with it that I can't give it a higher score. Also, the tail keeps getting stuck. So, and now let's look at the vehicle mode. We've got movement in the tail and movement in the bottom of the tail. We've got movement in the legs, movement at the feet again. So basically everything that the legs had in the robot mode. We have the dyno arms here that can move around. We've got the dyno mouth here, which was the same as it was for the arm in robot mode. And the laser blast effect, which I'll get to. And that's about it. Now, I don't rate the vehicle mode, it just goes along with the robot mode, but it's pretty solidly held together. And it looks really good, so I would still just keep the same rating as the robot mode. And now I wanted to show you the scale real quick and show you the laser effects. So let's get out my laser effects. actually, I think you guys get the point. I'm not going to show you the laser effect, but I will show you the scale. So, here is previous reviewee Ultra Magnus. And here he is next to Megatron. Now, time for my overall thoughts. So the instructions tell you pretty well what to do, but you gotta grasp it the first time, and there's a little bit of miscommunication in parts of it. The box is amazing and would look great on a shelf, and I know it looks great on mine next to my other Kingdom boxes. It's really big, and it holds up together for its size, except for this and the gaping hole in the tail. It has the laser blast effect in the mouth, which I appreciate due to what the Beast Wars show had him do with his arm mouth. And I know people will say like the Masterpiece figure has the same thing, but well, I can't afford it. So my overall thoughts are 9 out of 10 because of the few flaws it has. And that's about all I have to say about it, really. I would recommend this figure if you can afford it. It's $50, but if you want to get the Masterpiece figure, that's like $200, $300. I've seen it go up to $500, maybe even more. So I would recommend just sticking with this while it's out. If you can find it at a store, then definitely get it. And that's about it. This is the Golden Penguin, signing off.